Hey everybody, Danny Maude here. Thanks for joining us. In this golf lesson, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can start to strike your irons so much better with an absolutely amazing drill. A drill that I mentioned I would do for a recent question I had on my Facebook page. James asked me, he said, look, Danny, I am literally fatting my irons, thinning them along the ground. I just can't get a consistent strike. Every time I put myself on camera, I've got this kind of flicky position here. I'm losing loads of distance. Can you help? The answer, of course, is yes. So this video is for James, but I'm putting it out on YouTube because, do you know what? I really think it could help you too. Before I get into it though, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. Press that little bell button, next subscribe button, you get notified every time I release a video just like this one. And remember, there is a free practice guide. Everything we do in this video, I'll put into a downloadable practice guide so you don't have to remember a thing. So let's help you and James now start to strike your irons so much better with a cool, simple training that you can simply make at home. This is a bit of plywood, it's 3 feet long, it's a foot wide, and I've got an old golf club. What we're gonna make together is a rocker board. Now, full disclosure, I did not come up with this idea. This has been around for about 20 years. I think a PGA Pro called Sheftick originally came out with it, but I've adapted it a little bit to help you strike your irons better. Let me show you how it works. You grab an old golf club, just simply place it on the ground and place the board right down so the club is right in the center. Now, if you are striking your irons poor, you get into this flicky position, you're not striking them consistently, the chances are you're also in this position. What does this look like? Well, my pressure is on my back foot through the impact area. So stage number 1 to strike your irons, we've got to get the pressure at impact onto our lead side. There's the first stage. And this rocker board is going to help you do that because it's going to do 2 things. It's going to provide a sound and also a feeling, right? So let's start with that first. Goal number 1 is to get the pressure onto that lead side. It's not the final bit, but it's the first stage we're going to work on. So what we're going to do first is this. Start just getting the feeling of just going left, right. Now, some people you might be looking at it thinking, well, isn't that going to be swaying, Danny? No, there's a difference between swaying and pressure shifting. Here, all I'm doing is simply pushing both feet down. This would be swaying. You see? So I'm literally just push, push. Now, as I do this and I get a feel of this, all I'm going to do now is with one hand, I'm going to start to allow this club to swing in a real rhythmical fashion. And I'm going to try and get the timing of this so that, watch this, the pressure here goes down, it starts the backswing, and then look, the pressure on this way, on the lead foot starts the downswing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you can see almost the speed increases. Now I don't just have to do this with my trail hand, I can also do this with my lead hand. And this is going to organize your swing so that ultimately you get that weight on pressure over that lead side so you don't end up here. Now the problem is, I see it so often, you may be trying to stay still, you might be concerned about movement, and in doing so, staying still means that you freeze, and then ultimately you've got no space, you end up trying to almost like leaning back to try and generate any form of power, right? So don't be afraid of literally allowing these pressure shifts to work backwards and forwards and apply that force to the golf club. Organize your swing, then what you do, jump off it, before we move on to step 2, jump off it, get the sense now of this pressure shifting, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the backswing and the downswing are always starting with the pressure shifting, not a sway, just 1, 2. Get that organized, make sure the pressure's on your lead side of impact, get that feeling there before we move on to stage number 2. A little bit left, but we haven't done stage number 2 yet. So you may find, I see with some people, you've been trying so hard to get forward and you've tried to get this pressure, but you still flick it. And here's a second reason. So you may get forward, but just getting forward without clearing this side, clearing the hips, without extending this lead side, you don't have any space to hold this angle. You get cramped, so your body responds by going like this, stands up maybe, flicks the club, because there's no room. So you need to be smart. You also need to create space. Where's space created? Watch this. We're moving on to our lead side. Now watch. This the hip turns out the way, the lead leg extends, the left shoulder goes up. As it happens, look at this. This naturally holds the angle, but we want to do this in a flowing way. I don't want you to hold on to this and try and force this angle and try and keep the handle ahead, because do you know what? You'll lose a load of club head speed. I want you to strike the ball and generate speed so that you can hit the ball a decent distance as well as get the strike. So let me show you now how to feel this motion going through. You can also use the board for this. So you've got your pressure shift, you've organized the swing. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put this club at around about a 30-degree angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just simply going to put that pressure board there, a little bit further over. And what we're going to do is, you'll notice now the board is going to go backwards and forwards this way. Because watch this. When you come down here, right, when we come onto this side and then we push down this way, the weight moves into the front part of the trail foot here. You get the rotation. This rotation creates the space. As I'm creating the space here, look what happens. This lead shoulder keeps going. It naturally holds the angle. And you get the other bonus of this. Watch this. As I fire down, fire this club down, I throw the mass of this golf club down towards the ball, generating power. But the other thing I create is this. Bang! As I throw this down, my body works up. That gets the upward motion, again, pulling this club up and holding this angle naturally. So you get the compression and the speed. Do you see that? So it's not, let's hold this. No, there's no speed in that. We want to go one, bang. So there's the pressure going down into the ground here and into the heel of the lead foot. So it's like bang. Let's show you from this angle. So from this position, all we're going to do here is go bang, bang, bang. And as I'm doing this, coming down, I'm firing that club, and as that fires, I then fire through and up on that shot. This is what's going to give you that rotation and naturally help you keep that handle ahead. Let's have a look at this in action. So you've got your horizontal force. You've got that sensation. Now what we're going to do, we're going to feel like this toe is rolling inwards. It's rolling in, the club's flowing down, and we're going to generate some speed. Come on, ball. So not bad. So all we're doing just there, in summary, is you've got to organize the position. You've got to organize the balance. So what you're doing in reality is this. If you want to get that beautiful strike, you've got to get a ball turf strike where the weight ends up on the lead side, the handle ends up on the ahead of the golf ball. But you don't want to do that in a rigid fashion. Yeah? The club is always flowing. You just got to learn how to time it. So you organize it by literally shifting that way, not sliding, just shifting. Shift, swing, shift, swing, shift, swing, shift, swing, shift, swing. Now you've got the shift. Doesn't guarantee, because even from there you could just flip it. So you now need to create room. How do you do this? I almost like pressure pull. Weight goes to the front part of the trail foot, heel of the left, and you practice that. And that is throwing the club down. As you throw it down, the momentum, because it's a pendulum, throws it back up again. This creates the speed, and it also, creates this motion here, which holds the angle with power, with compression. You get both of those two things. Now look, if you're working on this and this is all new to you, start with stages 1 and 2 first. Just swing the club freely, get the pressure shift, organize that. That'll be enough, particularly if you slice the golf ball, because slice is always hitting off the back foot. So that's the way I would start. Then add the rotation in after that, all right? So really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with one of your friends if you think they could benefit, because I think this could be a real game changer for so many golfers. And of course, look, remember, you do not have to remember a thing. There's a free practice guide in the description box below. Just download it. And of course, look, remember, if you're new to the channel, this is one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. But until next week, have a great golfing week.